how much do you typically have to pay up front when you sign a six month to year long contract? Today, we're going to try and answer your questions all about renting an apartment here in Puerto Vallarta, both short-term, long-term. We're gonna pop in to PVPR, a rental agency here. We're gonna have them help us some of my questions, some of your questions as well. All right, we're here at PVPR. I am here with Tim from PVR PV. I get that name messed up every time. He's gonna answer some questions you guys have asked and hopefully clear some things up as far as the rental market here in Puerto Vallarta. All right, hola Tim. Thanks for indulging us in this video today. First, if you could just, for people who aren't aware of PVR PV, just give us like a quick 30-second rundown of what it is you guys do here in Vallarta.
So PVR PV has been in existence since March 1st, 2005. We're just over 12 years. And basically we specialize in rentals and property management. Normally vacation rentals is what we specialize in, and property management. Okay, perfect. So you have both owners that own property come to you to help them rent out their property, and as well people that are searching for apartments. Exactly. For short-term and long-term, I presume? Yeah, so what happens is a real estate agent will sell an owner a property. They will come into our office, we'll sit down with them and we'll show them what they should have in their condo for rentals, what kind of rental return they can expect. And then based on that information, obviously, we're hoping that they sign up with us, we register them, and then we start renting their property. Okay. We'll start right off with the question everybody wants to know is price of renting a condo or an apartment here. And I realize it's gonna vary vast, but let's say someone wants a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for a year-long lease in either in the Zona Romantica or somewhere here in El Centro. What's that gonna run you? Well, the long-term rental, if you really do search and you understand, it depends what people's thought process is, because they have this idea, because they talk to someone in the bar, that they can rent a place for $500 a month, and it can be located anywhere here. Well, that's not completely true. So if you go further back in Emiliano Zapata, more in the Mexican zone, yes, you can find those type of places. What happens is most expectation is they want to have the ocean view. Yeah. They want to see the ocean. So they're going to pay $1,200, $1,500, up to $1,800. Okay. Somewhere in that price range. Okay. So normally what we do is when a new owner comes in, we also look at it and say, you know what, is this a vacation rental or a long-term rental? Would we be more successful in doing it this way or this way? So that's part of what we do as well. Okay. But a lot of people are wanting to come down here just for January, February, March, which is the peak season, and they think they can find something for $500 a month, and it just doesn't exist. What are prices like compared to maybe signing a year-long lease? If you just want those 3 or 4 months during high season, what? You can get anywhere from $80 to $175 a night, $200 a night. Right. A lot of owners, what they'll do is they'll discount the price based on the weekly. And then if you do a 1-month rental, they'll normally discount about 30%. So we're trying to get everyone to kind of go along with that formula that kind of helps everyone. Okay, so it's definitely much cheaper if you were just crazy like Killer and I and only wanted to live here during low season. That would be the best time to try and find maybe not some $500 a month, but something quite a bit cheaper than high season. Absolutely. Okay. And we're trying to get everyone, including you guys, if you're doing all these videos, to say the summer season versus the winter season. I see. So if we start using that terminology, people are going to be coming here in the summer instead of thinking, I don't want to go somewhere where they call it low season. I see. That makes sense. Yeah. So in the summer months, it's easier to find things. Right. And if you're looking for something in the winter months and you arrive in November, December, you're going to have a tougher time. Yeah, no, I like that. That's a good change of vocabulary. It makes it seem definitely much more inviting. Summer's a lot happier than low. Absolutely.
as someone that's looking for an apartment, whether they're going through you guys or maybe doing it on their own, what are a few things you need to look for or be aware of when looking for an apartment here in Vallarta?
You really have to have a good understanding of where the properties are located. In our website, as an example, if there are wires in front of the condo, that is your view. That's the view you're going to see on our website. There are many owners in different companies, different people who think it's creative to reach out the window, take a picture on the angle, and that's their ocean view. Right. So you got to be careful with that. Even myself, I'll tell you a fun story. 12 years plus in business, I just rented an Airbnb myself in a different country, and it had no TV. I never even thought of asking for a TV. I just assumed it would be. So you really have to look at all the features and everything that's included, and don't assume anything. Do your research. When
people, and this, I thought of this when you brought up Airbnb, when people rent through you guys, is there like a review system or a rating system? Because Hillary and I use that extensively on Airbnb. So how does that work with you all?
We do the exact same thing. We have been doing it for about 7 years now. So every single customer that leaves town are rating each of our departments, so our property management, our maid, our concierge, including the unit, so that we put the responsibility back on the owner. Because believe it or not, I still have a few owners that don't think internet is important in a condo. It's just not acceptable. We need to bump it up. Yes, you need to have Netflix available. Yes, you need to have an Apple TV. Yes, you need to keep increasing the things that need to be in there. And we have to change with the times.
What is, and to kind of switch directions here, what is an area of town that is maybe not quite as quote unquote hot, not temperature wise, but what is not as popular that you could find something for a little bit cheaper or a little bit less expensive that that is still desirable, that still might have the beach view or you might have the ocean view, but it might not be quite as expensive as here in the Zona Romantica?
There's a lot. There's like the Cinco de Diciembre, for example. I'll give you a very specific example. It's up a hill. We rented it 6 months, $1,200 a month.
Nice.
They had to pay their own utilities. They are going to have amazing views, but they all have to walk up the hill. There's Alta Vista, there's Amapas, there's tons that are not just in this. Normally what happens is first timers, they want to be in this section. But the fact of the matter is, it is loud. It doesn't matter where you get here, it's loud. That's what it is. You guys know that. It's loud. So if they want quieter, they can go up. But then some people tell me, you know what, the music from the bar is going up there. It's a party town. If you want quiet, it's not Puerto Vallarta.
That's actually, that's a good, Hillary and I, we've gone over to the Marina Vallarta a few times, and we like that area just simply because it's like there's not anything going on, there's way less buses, and it's hard, you know, if you haven't been here, it's hard to describe, but sometimes the bus noise and everything else, it can wear on you, but it's, you know, it's what makes it great.
It's part of the charm of Mexico.
Exactly. And you mentioned this, I caught this in your last answer, for people that are renting long-term, do you typically have to pay utilities in addition to your monthly rent? How does that work?
So normally what happens is electricity is very expensive here in Vallarta. They're kind of crazy with the prices. So normally that's never included. So normally you're paying rent, the electricity you're paying yourself. Sometimes the internet and the phone is included. It's only 349 pesos, like $15 a month. It's really expensive. So some owners will throw it in, some will not. And then normally the rest of the stuff is included. But again, just be very specific. A lot of people do long-term contracts. The contract is, I do contracts too, but really when it gets down to the crunch, it's really a piece of paper with information on there. Unfortunately.
Well, and that leads perfectly into my next question is how do contracts work here? So we sign a year lease, and let's say there's a lot of things that could happen. Maybe we need to go back home, or like this actually happened to Hillary and I. We had a fire in our apartment and there's no way we're staying there anymore. How do contracts work? How do you get out of it? How do we need a lawyer? Are they like super legally binding?
What's the proper answer to that?
Yeah.
I think each situation is a little bit different.
Okay.
And it really depends.
Right.
If we as a company, PVRPV has done a long term, we're going to look at all of those things. We've had people that have had kids in accidents, fires, we've had them drugged, we've had all sorts of stuff over the years, all the stories.
Right.
It really depends. And really, yes, people are going to say you're going to get a lawyer. There are some tourist offices that you can go to. They're the experts. They really know the law.
Okay. And those guys are free, the tourism lawyers, right? I believe.
Absolutely.
At least to go and have a consultation, because we had to do that, unfortunately. I will link their site below, everybody, because that's a great site. As well as Profeco, I believe, kind of helps with some stuff like that.
Profeco is for businesses, yes.
For
so
businesses.
they will help. There's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of stories that you hear, people coming down here, they arrive, the places don't exist, all of that type of stuff. So it's really important to do your research, really do Google it, check TripAdvisor, check all those places. The information is there.
For sure, and that's like a super plug again for you guys here, but that's exactly what y'all kind of take some of that out of the question, right? Like if you rent through you guys, people don't have to worry about the place.
They absolutely don't have to worry about the place.
Exactly.
And if there's something that is out of our control, we will do 100% of what we can do to make it work.
Perfect. How much do you typically have to pay up front when you sign a six month to year long contract?
Normally it's 3 months, so normally it's first, last, and damage.
Okay.
Again, it really depends on who you're dealing with.
Okay.
The other part that you haven't asked, and that happens often, is why is it in US dollars? There's a lot of people asking why it's in US dollars.
Right.
And really, if we had time for probably a 20-hour conversation, we can figure it out.
Right.
But really what happens here, unfortunately, is even when you're buying real estate, you're doing rentals, a lot of people are charging in US dollars. They have to offer you a peso amount. The peso amount must be offered. That is the legal part of what they need to do. So it's based on the exchange rate, and they offer. If you are looking for a long-term rental and it's that type of thing, try to negotiate a peso. It won't always work, but you can try to do that. If you're dealing with a rental agency, it's normally all in US dollars.
That's a good point, because if you have you get the price in dollars, let's say $1,000 a month, well your dollar could get way weaker or stronger. But if you're in pesos, you're just in pesos, and it's not changing.
At the same thing, So the exchange rate has changed all the time.
Right.
We were up to 20, 21 not too long ago. Now it's around 18, so really that makes a huge difference as well.
That does. And to switch gears here, for people that are condo owners or prospective buyers here in the Puerto Vallarta area, how often your place is typically rented out? Let's say you just want to live here, a few months out of the year, and whether that's in the summer months or winter months, how often can you expect to have your place rented, assuming you have the Netflix, you have internet, and it's a decent place?
I've been asked that question so many times, and I've actually never really answered it. The reason I don't answer it, because it's really a two-part thing. It's really the owner's responsibility as much as ours. We have a lot of owners that say, you know what, I'm going to decorate the place, it's going to be beautiful. You walk in there, it's wooden furniture, there are rugs that they bought on the beach up on the wall. That is not a beautiful condo, sorry. That's not what people are looking for. So until we really see it, then we'll really know. We are becoming very successful in the summer rentals now. This year we've really noticed a huge difference in the amount of people that are here. So it's going to increase more and more. But obviously, if you have all the niceties, we can be very successful in renting it, and depending on when you're going to be in it.
What is your favorite, what's your favorite time here in Vallarta? This is like not related to rentals at all, but just, and not even, maybe business-wise, maybe just personal, personal fun. What's your favorite time to be here in the city? To be honest, our favorite time, the people that are in this type of business, the favorite time is now. Why is that? Because there's less people. We don't have to line up to go anywhere. We actually have time to sit down and talk to people. And so you kind of take a deep breath and refocus. For sure. So this is really a fun time. But New Year's Eve is my favorite time in Puerto Vallarta. That's my favorite time. They close the street, they have a huge party on all the Celtics. And that's what it's all about. That's awesome. We haven't been here for last... No, we've missed like December to March we've missed, and so we've missed the 70-degree days, but we do enjoy. That's one thing. When we came here in March, obviously we had Semana Santa, now it's nuts, and so it was like about a month after Semana Santa when it quieted down, we were very, very glad. And it just, although it can get warm, it is nice. Like I said, there's no lines at the restaurants, you can get everywhere.
You kind of get to know the locals more.
Yeah,
you have the
exactly.
time to spend instead of running around because you're getting to your next client or you're doing the next thing. So.
Exactly. When should you begin your search for an apartment or condo here in Vallarta?
Now. Now is when you should start. You know, it's really changed over the years, and in the last couple of years what we're finding now is people are actually booking almost 2 years in advance. So if they get here and they really like their condo, they're taking care of that for 2018, and now we have 2019.
Right.
So people are, it's really changing, and they really plan far in advance. So as much time as possible. It doesn't mean that if you decide, you know, next week I'm going to go to Vallarta, it doesn't mean we're not going to have anything.
Right.
But if you're going to do that for December 28th, we don't have anything.
Right.
I can tell you that right now.
Right.
If you're going to come February 1st for a month, we probably are going to struggle getting you something that you really want because they're already booked in advance.
It's kind of, I don't know the best way to say this, but with the increasing popularity of Vallarta, that's definitely made it harder to find the more affordable places. It's just harder. I mean, any place that gets popular, you can't come here on a whim and expect to find a place for a year.
And we still have customers that arrive from the airport with their suitcases, walk into our office, and haven't booked anything.
Right.
So we do everything possible. We find it like a challenge. I'm going to find this guy something. He's really going to like it. But the truth of the matter is it's very hard to find. And yes, it's becoming more and more popular. With the 14 new buildings going up in construction, it's going to change again.
Right.
So we're going to have all that more inventory. So is it going to be the same? We don't know. We won't know.
Right.
We won't know for another 2 years.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And we've taken up quite a bit of your time here today, but we'll ask you one more question. You have any like random stories or funny stories working in the business? You've been doing it for a while, so I'm sure you've got to have something.
We have so many stories, and I could spend hours telling you stories, but this happened yesterday. So yes, I will share this story with you. I have a client that wrote me, and I don't normally WhatsApp with a client, but I did with this particular client. I could tell that he might need a little bit more help or whatever. We started, so he wrote me a message about 10 o'clock last night, and he said to me, "Tim, would it not be easier if we just bought new batteries instead of biting the batteries?" And I said, "Pardon?" I said, "I think I'm confused in your question." He says, "No, honestly, I think it would be faster if we actually just bought new batteries." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about." And then I start thinking to myself, maybe this guy's like had a few cocktails, he's had a couple happy hours, whatever. He says, "No, well, actually your staff member told me last night that if I bit the battery, it would last an actual week longer." And I said, "Oh my God, please don't bite any batteries. I will have my concierge bring up some batteries for you." So today the concierge went and brought up the batteries, and they brought me back this. So for me, it's the funniest story ever. Here are the bitten batteries, and yes, my concierge believed that this would, because it works at his house. So he does it at his home. I had an emergency staff meeting today, and I've told all my staff, please do not have our clients bite the batteries.
Bite the batteries.
Let's buy new batteries. It might work, but I don't want my clients biting batteries. So it's a pretty funny story. So I have another funny story. The hot water tanks, it's a big thing here, the boilers. One of my new property inspectors said to the client, "Don't worry about it, just have cold showers. I do it all the time." So no. We're expecting hot showers. My clients are expecting hot showers, and we'll get that boiler on.
That's funny. That's
so pretty funny stories.
Part of living in Mexico is some of the funny stuff that gets either lost in translation or lost in some of the culture gap.
And I actually thought it was lost in translation until we confirmed with him that he actually does it in his own.
No kidding.
Batteries. So, anyways, fun story.
That's awesome.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having us. If anybody has any questions about rentals or anything we didn't cover, just comment below, and I'm actually going to see if Tim can, I'm either going to direct those questions to Tim. I'm going to link his email below as well, and I'm going to see if he can answer a few comments on the YouTube channel as well. So hopefully he can answer your questions directly.
No problem.
And that way I'm not having to guess what the answer is supposed to be. So thank you so much for answering our questions, Tim.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Hopefully Tim answered lots of your questions and then some, gave you a better insight into what the rental market is like here in Puerto Vallarta, what you need to look for. Hopefully I don't get hit by this car here. Not good to vlog and talk and walk across the street at the same time. We're not affiliated with those guys at all or anything. They're not paying us. They just have a great reputation around town, and I wanted to, if I'm going to get information for you, I want to try and get it from some of the best people. If you're looking for, so those guys obviously offer a service for when you're looking for an apartment or looking for a condo, or if you have one that you want to rent out. Some other ways you can find an apartment. What Hiller and I did, we did it on Airbnb, and so we like Airbnb. You're going to pay a little bit more because of random fees that Airbnb has and whatnot. Sometimes, a lot of times they'll have pretty good pictures, but what we really rely on with Airbnb are all the reviews. So if it, like Tim said, they could take a picture that's a little bit misleading. So Hiller and I really rely on the Airbnb reviews to try and see if there's a comment or review that mentions it looking misleading or not. But that's kind of a risk we're willing to take. But I think going to the future, if we're looking for a long-term place, which we do need to start doing here soon, we need to work with an organization such as PVRPV. Some people do Craigslist. That's when you might find the cheapest deals, but you also are just kind of running the risk. And the last option, in which he kind of mentioned at the beginning of the video, is just coming here, finding people on the street, talking to people that may have a place, and you're more likely to find the cheapest places that way. They're going to be probably not as high quality as some of the places you'll find on Airbnb or with a service like these guys over here. I say over here because it's just 2 blocks from our place. So, there's a lot of different ways you can find an apartment or find a condo here in PV. Just really depends on what kind of risk you're willing to take, what your budget is, what kind of place you're looking for. So I think that way is the way to go for sure if you don't want to have to worry about anything. If you're crazy and you want to live on the edge, you can do the whole Craigslist thing. I'm not wild enough to do that, but hey, maybe that's your thing. That's all we got for today. Hopefully we can check in with La Güera tomorrow and see what she's up to. Hopefully this video had some good information in it, had at least 2 videos worth of information to make up for our bad impressions video. But be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the bell, that way you get notified every time we upload a new video, and we will see you mañana. Adios.